What is your full name?
Rose Mary Colavetti Alt.
Where and when were you born?
I was born in Howard, on Glendale now. It used to be Route 5. We didn't have house numbers. We didn't have street names. It was Route 5. And I was born in the farmhouse. Oh, it was fun. Um, um, we weren't wealthy, but as we grew up, we didn't know that. We thought we had everything. I had a brother and a sister to play with.
What did you wear for clothes as a kid? How did fashion change over the years?
I brought some pictures. Um, we wore, in the winter, the girls wore long stockings if they wore a dress. Well, we wore long stockings even so, but we didn't wear slacks to school, the girls. Also, because we walked to school a mile and a half, to keep warm, we wore snowsuits, snow pants and jacket. Because we had one student in our school that always wore bib overalls. And so they could wear jeans. We had no uniforms in our school. How have they changed? Just looking around, all the girls here are wearing slacks, and that's pretty much the basic difference between you and my school, in grade school.
What did you use for transportation?
For school, we walked, rain or shine, unless it was a really pouring rain. Then my father would come and get us with a car. Otherwise, we would get home wet sometimes. If it was raining, sprinkling, heavy, we had to walk. When it was cold, we had to walk.
What did you do for fun growing up?
Okay, because I had a brother and a sister, I was lucky. We could play together. Cut out paper dolls when I was little. Did a lot of reading. We got our radio when I was in lower grade school, and I remember in the evening we would sit by the radio to listen. We couldn't turn it real high, and so we would be sitting, three of us, sitting right by the radio, and listening to Tom Mix, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry. We played games. We played baseball, just bat the ball and kick the football, but we didn't have a team. And we'd walk in the woods, in the fields. In the winter, we would go ice skating. We had the clamp-on ice skates that you clamp onto your shoes, and we had one pair, and there were three of us, my older brother and my younger sister. There are 5 of us in the family, but the other 2 came way later. And so we would go on, we had a creek in our pasture, and we would go ice skating, and some of the neighbors would come and join us in the evening, the close neighbors. We got a bicycle, so we would ride the bicycle, but I was about, I think, 12 years old when we got a bicycle, and that was a boy's bicycle, and the 3 of us had to share it. I never owned a bicycle. Let's see, what else did we do? A lot of walking in the woods, myself and my brother mostly, and then my sister would come too sometimes. We'd play games, little Chinese checkers was a big one that we played with the family.
What did schools look like when you were a kid?
I went to a one-room school. It was a little school, and it had the one classroom. There were 8 grades in it, 1 through 8. And then it had 2 rooms, our cloak rooms, one on each side of the stairway. The stairway would go up the middle, and there was one for the girls. We'd put our lunch in there and our coats, and the one for the boys. We had a basement that when the weather was bad, we would play in the basement at recess. And we had the restrooms down there, non-flush toilets, the boys on one side and the girls on the other. We had a furnace that had to be, it burned, I think, wood and maybe coal, and somebody had to go there early, either the teacher or one of the close neighbors went to the school early in the morning to start up the fire so it would be warm for when we came, and then they'd have to keep, well, usually an 8th grader would go down and fill the furnace so it wouldn't go out while we're in school. One-room school, I have a, can I pass the picture? Mm-hmm. I have this picture of our one room. That's 8 grades. There were 5 in my class, in all through. And there was one class, I don't remember whose it was, but there was only one person in that grade. I'll pass this around, and if you can find me, let me know. I'm there. When the teacher, when she taught 8 grades, now when you're being taught, you're all learning the same thing at the same time. Well, our teacher would call us up to the front, like grade 1, come to the front. The rest of us stayed in our seats and did our homework, any work that we had to do or were reading, and she would be teaching 1st grade up in front. Well, she'd do each grade or each kind of class. She had like history class would be just the upper grades, you know, she varied it. And so while that was an advantage, I think, because let's say I was in 4th grade and the 8th graders were up there getting their lesson. If I wanted to, I could listen and I could learn what she was teaching the 8th graders or the 7th graders and so on. The younger students could learn. Otherwise, we had to be doing our work or reading. And for a library, we had like a bookcase in the back of the room. That was our library. There weren't many books in it.